I call this a psychological thriller. Now, I really think this movie was really good because
Wonderful.
sometimes, because with movies, those movies from the 90s or these quote unquote hood movies or these, the violent rated R movies, like New Jack City, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. I put Juice in that category, or I
Me
always
too.
have. But this one, I'm like, oh no, this is deep, and it stands up from
It does.
1992 till now. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, it was absent of like the love story that Poetic Justice kind of had, and it was absent of like the in your face kind of like violent elements that Boys in the Hood had and Men's Society had. It really wasn't even like on that. I mean, sure, violence was in the movie, but like you said, I think it was more so around four young boys in the 90s in New York, like with some weird dynamics, and just literally it happened over like a short span of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of went into that, so it kind of is in its own lane, but I could see us like boxing it in because it had all these movies coming out in the 90s with just all this like strong black talent, and it just was like we kind of grouped them all in, like Jews, I like Men's Society, like all those different things, but this does kind of stand on its own when you think about it.
I also want to mention this was Omar Epps and Khalil Kane's first movie.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Mm-hmm.
This is Tupac's first starring role. He did appear in Nothing But Trouble, which came out in 1991, but it's
Like
in the
real
credits
small.
it says he was with Digital Underground.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I guess this was his first movie as Tupac the actor,
Yeah.
not with Digital Underground.
Okay.
And I mean, in that
And-
movie, you might as well say like he's
wasn't
like an
even in it.
extra.
And then Jermaine Hopkins, who plays Steel, he was also in Lean on Me.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe this is like maybe his second big movie, second, third. But Omar Epps and Jermaine Hopkins, they were about like 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
Tupac was 19, 20. Khalil Kane, 26, 27.
Yeah.
In this
Wow.
movie.
They look
Yeah.
like they all
They
fit.
do.
He looks
They
well,
do.
Yeah, I didn't know
When he
was
said
fit.
he was like 27, I was like, what?
He didn't look it.
Until Babyface.
Mm-hmm. He looked good for his age. Well, maybe he still does. Yeah.
But compared to like, it's hard to put a 27-year-old next to a 17-year-old
Yeah.
and play them off as friends. Like they pulled that off.
They
I don't know
did.
if 17-year-olds back in the day just looked old.
I don't know either, but it was good. It was really good. I thought it was a good pairing, a good cast. You wouldn't even know.
What I hear about Juice, like what I've been hearing, I always remember the name Bishop, and Tupac is on like the promotion for the film or just the art for the film. Tupac is centered. That's what I've always seen.
Well, he was the big rapper back in the day because again, Omar Epps' first movie, Khalil Kane first movie. So he was the star.
From a marketing standpoint, I understand that. If we are going to, if that type of promotion is supposed to reflect who the movie is about, like who is the star of the movie, I guess Tupac is it, like he's the main antagonist, right? But I also think I didn't know that it was really like Q's film. Like this is about him. Like this is really Omar Epps' journey, because when it comes on, you hear a heartbeat or what I imagine sound, it was that doom, 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 doom. And then that weaves into Eric B. and Rakim's song Juice. And that like mixed with the visuals of the vinyls that are part of the opening credits of the film. And I know that Q is a musician, he's a DJ. That further let me know like, oh, okay, this is really about him. This is his story. So I just, I guess I was taking that with me while I was watching the film. He's the first one that we meet. You're starting the day with them, right? And this all feels very like, this is how it is. This is every single day. Like, this isn't something new that is taking place. This is how we wake up. And what hurt me, or what really made me feel just unsettled and exhausted already, is when the way most of these, or the way two of these men wake up, is just aggressively. Q's mom scratches the record and she's screaming, like, it's so early in the morning, like, Quincy, wake up, get out of bed, you're gonna be late for school. Even though she's a loving mother, it's like, that is not the way somebody wants to wake up. Still,
wait till you had kids.
Huh?
Wait till you had kids.
My mom used to wake me up by pinching me. And I have had talks with my therapist about that, because I'm like, what the heck? Like, that is how I'm introduced. That's how the day is introduced to me, through pain. That was not the move, girl. Like,
in a perfect world, we would say, okay, you would rub your kids back and be like, okay, honey, time to wake up. We need 5 more minutes. Okay, no problem.
Right.
I'll cook your breakfast. No, but I get what you're saying.
Nicole,
but
like,
I do
pour this boiling water on your ass. We gonna snap fast and wake up.
I understand what you're saying, but for me, it seemed like a typical morning rush. Like, these are working moms. These aren't stay-at-home moms. We need to get up. I need to get to work. I need to make sure that you're out the house. I need to make sure that your little brother out is done. Like, you get in the bathroom, because we only got one bathroom. Are you done? Because we have to be out this house by 7:30 so we can be to work by 8 o'clock, and you drop him off at school by 7:55. Like, you want to rush. So I get that.
But I think for me, it was a little bit more than just showing something that is typical. Because if it's so typical, I don't need to see that, because I already know what happens in a home with single parents. But it's like, still is being dragged off of his bed. I know it's a joke. Like, I know his brother is playing, and he's not intentionally trying to hurt his brother. But it's that, on top of Raheem arguing with his girlfriend, on top of being chased by the cops. And it's like, issue after issue after issue after issue. It's like, I need a break here. Like, to a certain extent, you can see how a bishop comes out of that.
Go ahead, Kalesha.
No. Go ahead. I know you're about to talk about Ashley's point.
I thought this opening scene of getting up to go into school or getting out of bed was very important. One, this is a movie about 4 young Black men. Usually, like I said, with this era, 90s, New York, all you hear about is, quote unquote, thugs or crime. And, at least this, of course, we know as Black women, this is, that these are young men. But I think this scene was important to show that these men have mothers and families and siblings, and they come from a home. They come from good homes where their mom tells them, you forgot to make your bed in the morning. Because throughout the movie, when you do see all this crime and violence, I think it was important to show the humanity. Like, these are kids that have a family. And then also, what was important is that all the boys, besides Bishop, had a mom to wake them up, even though it was rough, even if it, wasn't the best wake up morning routine. They had a mother in the home telling them, hey, you need to get up, make this bed, get out the house, get ready to go to school. You got your school books. They had someone on them like that, whereas Bishop didn't. And so right then I'm like, I got it now.
Yeah. It's but like, I will say Bishop does have his grandmother in the house who he seems to dote on. And but Bishop and Raheem are the two who don't need to be woken up. They're just up. Like Bishop gets up and he's like, hey, grandma, and she says, go check on your dad, go see if he's hungry. Raheem is already in the bathroom. And I think you and I are going to kind of have the same conclusions about what that does to Bishop, but I also have some theories about what that says about Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I agree with both of y'all points, different points I agree on. I think for me, when I look at that and I analyze that, a few points. Definitely, it gave like the real rawness of like, having these family units. I think as you mentioned something, but I know I'm not going to say exactly what you said because I don't remember it word for word, but like they wake up like kind of like like there's a lot of movement, it's like you said, it's the morning rush, or like there's a lot of like, oh, I'm gonna pull my brother down, or I'm gonna scratch the record when I tell Q to get up, all these different things. So like them coming together after the girlfriend argument, all that stuff, like them coming together is like their peace. Like they're like anxious to get ready. Now they don't even go to school some days. They just like, it's like that's their peace, like most days. Right. They just want to get to their friend group. Like that gives them like, okay, like this is how I want to be, but also to the point about like how they're all having moms wake them up. Although Bishop has like, he has his grandmother and there's a love there. There's a grandmother, grandson love there. His house is quiet in comparison to all the other houses. And then it's like, check on my dad that's mute, that has nothing with me, that don't say nothing to me. Like, why am I checking on him? So it just kind of feels like he's waking up like in
his last image in the house. Like that's the last time we see everyone else. Like
they go back to the house.
They go when they're in the house, right when they're about to leave. Quincy's mom is like, "You ain't joining no army." Not because I'm trying to be rude and I'm trying to control you, but it's like I love you too much. I don't want anything to happen to you. And Quincy, still, oh, put your coat on. It's cold outside. That's a loving thing to say.
Sure.
Raheem, hey, what's going on between you and your sister? Nothing, Mom. Like, it's playful. The last image we see of Bishop is him putting $5 in his dad's
pocket or something. And it's very, although there's, sure, he has a home to go home to, that doesn't mean the home is warm. And if it could be, sure, scattered, busy, Monday morning, loud, talking all different things, it's still full. It still has warmth. And I was also thinking the same thing about how Raheem gets up and how Bishop gets up. They don't really need nobody to give them that wake up call. We'll get into it, I'm sure, but that's also why I feel like Bishop kind of had a thing, because I feel like although Raheem's kind of like he's a natural leader, he kind of like shows up as the leader within the team, within the group, and they all hate, but he views them, even though I'm kind of like, maybe I am supposed to be the older one or whatever I am, I'm the only one that got a baby, I don't know, but it seemed like that's Raheem kind of vibe, and I think deep down that was something that Bishop was like, dang, like I want to be a leader too, because I'm not winning in nothing else. I don't have the warmth. My dad don't even know me. I don't know where my mama at. I don't even know mama, daddy, whatever. Like it just seemed like like I need to win in something. So if I got to win within my friend group, then so be it. I know that's going like deeper into it, but that's kind of how I felt like that's that's kind of how it is. So
sorry, go ahead.
No, say I agree.
I agree. It felt very, even though like we're brothers, Raheem felt very paternal to me.
He was a daddy for real.
He literally. But you was not a daddy to Keisha's baby, which is what you should have been doing.
Did y'all notice Raheem, his son's mother, and his son was matching in orange and black?
No.
I did not know that.
I know this caught my eye.
And then the girls, the
car.
New boo. Yeah, his car was orange too. I'm like, why are they all in orange? I'm like, what is going on?
But they really a unit.
It was funny watching it because it's like you're seeing like exes go back and forth in front of this baby. But I'm like, but y'all matching though.
I did not even notice it. Wow.
They had the same like bright orange bubble jacket. And the baby did
did
in the same bright orange car that her new boo she got in with.
And he pissed about it. And you real pissed about it, even though you cursed me out.
I mean, but that's typical guy though.
Yeah, man.
Oh, don't guys. That's typical toxic guy. He's talking about if we was together, you wouldn't have no issues. Baby, what? You could just be giving me my check. You could just be giving me this cash. Why we got to be together for the baby to be all right? See, This is a problem.
But after this morning routine, all the guys are out the house, and we see the first of many altercations that Bishop gets into.
Mm-hmm.
And this first one is with I'm assuming he calls them a Puerto Rican gang. Mm-hmm. And they're like I guess taunting him, teasing him. He's fighting back. One thing I noticed as a theme is people calling him crazy.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the mental health stuff, but multiple people refer to Bishop as crazy. And then we don't know why his father or what disability his father has, if it's mental or physical or both.
Right.
But is there something that's I guess in the air with people like, oh, Bishop, you crazy, or you effed up because you can't. The guy that was taunting him was like, oh, you can't mess up something that's already effed up or whatever. Like, you just like your dad. Like, then he said like his apparently his dad was in prison, but I'm sure is deeper than that.
Right.
The issue with his dad. But we do see the first of many altercations that Bishop does have throughout this movie.
100% true.
And so they fight. His friends do help this time.
Yeah, they help.
You and Raheem and them, they try to step in to kind of like, we'll break it up a bit.
Yeah, after he exacerbated it when he noticed them coming.
Yeah. Yes, true.
He sweetened it and like he made, I'm big and bad, like bravado.
He did, because it was like 5 against 1.
He
and then
knew.
He see his friends and he like
it was about 8 against 1.
He bucked up. Right. But then he don't wanna be sheepish and weak in front of them. It's again like, I want to be a leader too. Like, he's fighting for that power throughout this whole movie.
I kept thinking, like, what does Bishop want? Like, what do you and if you don't want to be afraid, if you want to feel like you have control over yourself, if you want people to know that you got the juice, if you want to feel like a badass, you don't really need your friend group in order to do that. But it seems like he does.
Mm-hmm.
You could have fought those men, you would have lost the fight. I mean, but you could have done that. I'm sure that Radames is not going to always be with these people. Like, it seems like there are opportunities for Bishop to prove himself in that, unhealthy, unsustainable way that he wants to prove himself. But it seems like he needs his friends to be either an audience or an active participant. And that's what makes it like all the more sad to me. Like, just troubling, I should say, not necessarily sad.
There's an article from The Guardian written in 2011, and they have a quote from the director, who was also the co-writer, and it says, the character of Bishop was one that on the surface seemed easy to play. All you had to do was put in rage. But most actors miss that rage comes from deep hurt and insecurity. Tupac understood that. And you're saying that's pretty like that's how Tupac got the role, because it's not just about, he wasn't just mad or angry or just upset. That came from pain and insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Insecurity probably because of whatever issue his father has.
Yep.
And maybe being embarrassed or whatever issue he has, because I'm sure Bishop got some issues.
Exactly.
Whatever issue, it's that insecurity of not letting anybody, I guess, see who you are, or know any, what do you call it? I don't want to say faults, but just imperfections.
Right.
You want people to know your imperfections. So you're going to be like, nope, I'm going to get you before you even get a chance
For you would get a chance
to see anything about me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after this scuffle in front of the bodega, we realize these guys don't intend on going to school, even though that's where they should be. This is a skip day or a skip every day, pretty much.
Yeah. Skip semester.
So they end up at, what is this, a store or a pool hall where their friend was robbing the place?
It seemed like this is after Quincy took his friends to the record store to steal some records so he could practice.
Yes.
And then he goes into this bar, and I think he tries to makes a phone call, but then he also like buys Raheem some cigarettes because he's smoking with cigarettes.
Well, also mentioned throughout this movie, Quincy he's a DJ. There's this DJ competition that he's really interested in. And as you said in the beginning scene, there's all you see is records in the opening scene. And so Q is a music guy, and he loves his music. He wants to be a DJ. He's invested in this DJ competition. And so, yeah, they go to the record store. He kind of sweet talks with the lady behind the counter. You can tell he's bullshitting just so his friends can steal records for him. And, you know, that's what his focus is throughout the movie. So, like I said, they're on this, I don't know, skip school everyday mission. They're at the record store. They're buying cigarettes. They're going to the bar. They end up at this one place where a guy they know, well, tells Q that he's going to rob the place and asks him if he wants in on it. And Q's like, no, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
He just gets out of there. So then all the guys are outside, and he's telling them, he's like, yo, what's his name? Blizzard. Yeah, sticking the place up. And Bishop, hothead self, oh, let's go in there. Like, what's going on? Because first he asked him, he was like, oh, he let you out? And Q was like, he asked me if I wanted a piece of it. And Bishop's like, hell yeah, we want a piece of it. And it was like, no, this is not what we doing. And so you can kind of see the dynamic of the friends, that Bishop is kind of like this hothead. And Q, throughout the movie, I would say Q seems very level-headed.
Yeah.
And so does Raheem. Still just seems like a baby. Well, still seems more like a baby. Like he just.
Yeah, a little bit of like the more inexperienced or immature. I don't know how to put him in, but he still seems like he'll get it. Like he'll get it. But Bishop seems like he just doesn't want to get it. Like he is, it seems like for the most part, even though Still's a little bit like, he's still like, we're not doing this. You get why, right? Okay, let's move on. It's like Bishop's like, no, man, y'all don't get it. Like he just seems like you are just really, really immature. You're really not trying to hear me right now. He's blocked.
You do get the sense that if Steele was hanging out with 3 other bishops as opposed to 1 bishop and 2 Raheems, that he probably would have gone along and joined Blizzard in the chaos.
He's very impressionable.
It feels like I'm just gonna go along. This is what we're doing. This is how it's gonna be. Okay,
You get that, and that's why I think he is something. I mean, they're gonna go so deep into Steel, but I get the vibe, like to your point, Ash, I get the vibe, like, yeah, it depends on who he's around, but I think a part of him knows he's better for it to be around. Like, but Raheem, man, why you did this, Raheem? Like,
he knows better. He knows better, but I think he's afraid to say. And I think he's not there yet. Yeah, I think immaturity is definitely the way to describe him. I think in every scene there he feels very young. I think when we get to the scene where they're robbing Quillis's place, if I'm saying his name correctly,
the bodega,
there's definitely some immaturity there that I'm like, okay, but I know that, we're not there yet.
Yeah, so after they leave this place, they end up at Steele's house. He cooks them this ridiculous meal. I don't know, eggs mixed with bacon and hot sauce.
And
that looked like
Starburst
bologna.
And cereal and eggs and bacon.
Now,
and
I ain't
toast
gonna lie. Because I like eggs.
and milk.
I like eggs too, but I like my eggs as
it looked kind of good to me until he was pouring the 40 up in there. I was like, wait, what are we doing? And then I saw the ketchup on the stove and I'm like, what are we doing with the ketchup?
Like disgustingness.
And quit calling this bacon. This is Oscar Mayer. This is bologna.
Cray.
This is bologna. It ain't mortadella. It's bologna. Okay.
Come on, man.
So they're at Steele's house. The TV is on. First, they're watching this movie. And then breaking news, the place where they just were, Blizzard, who was sticking up the place, who asked Q if he wanted some action, and they had to talk Bishop and say, no, we're not doing this. We're going home. The guy is shot and killed by police.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can see the different reactions. Bishop is like, oh, we definitely should have been there because we could have, he would still be alive. Q was like, no, if we were there, then there'll be 5 guys dead, not just one. Five dead niggas. And
come
so
on now.
You see this, like, you can kind of see where each of their heads is at. And then again with this crazy, I noticed that every time someone calls Bishop crazy, he flips out.
Yeah.
Because even when Q was like, man, Bishop, you crazy. And then that's when he kind of flips on him. Mm-hmm. And they yelling back and forth, F you. Raheem was like, okay, guys, like, y'all
stop
need to
this.
stop. Y'all need to stop.
It sounded like a dad breaking up a fight between his 2 sons. Like, you say you're sorry, Bishop. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on. Even when they were outside the bar and Bishop is trying to go into the bar, Raheem physically stops him and saying, I'm not letting you. I said no, didn't I? I already spoke on the matter. We're not doing this. I'm not letting any of us go down the way I know Blizzard is about to go down. That crazy motherfucker is going down, and I'm not letting that happen to y'all. I'm not letting that happen to my kids. It's like, and so I wonder, in different Black male groups, is there that
the dad figure, like how
that
have the mom
figure? Because I think the only one that we see who has a dad in the house is Steele. That's
Bishop.
it.
Technically,
well, Bishop, yes, you're right. You're right. I shouldn't say that.
But that was a good point, because sometimes when their dad is absent, young boys have to kind of grow up fast and become the man of the house, especially when they're siblings, because Q does have a younger brother. Mm-hmm. And then Raheem has a sister, but again, I don't know if his sister is older or younger. But again, we're talking about a man with two women in the house, so he's gonna care for his mom and his sister the same way.
And I'm thinking that she's older only because she wasn't talking about going to school.
Oh yeah, she was going
talking
to work.
About a job interview,
right?
So I think that she's probably older. But you're exactly right. What a man like Raheem is thinking: I have 2 women in the house that I have to protect.
True. And also deep down, it could be something coming from the fact that, he knows that, it's that misplaced, pent up, like, guilt, perhaps, that he has from the fact that, he has a troubled relationship with his girlfriend. He's so mad at her and calling her out her name and all this stuff. It's coming from the fact that, your life not together, sure you got your friends and stuff, but what are you really doing? So this kind of is like a thing for him to kind of be parental or fatherly to his group, because, he has an older sister. He doesn't have anybody younger. And even though we know his true age, even in this group, he seems like he is the oldest.
Yeah.
So, you know, he kind of is doing what he should be doing for his relationship. And I think, you know, it was a short scene, but like him seeing her go off with the guy, you know, they show his face, you know, that's like disappointment, you know, because he kind of wished that he could step up to the point, to the plate. So that's probably, you know, again, like a deep layer that maybe they was trying to convey. And I didn't really realize it until like when I watched it again.
When we gonna talk about In Vogue? When we gonna get there? Because I got things to say about Miss Yolanda.
Okay. So Q, he is the only one that has a love interest. He is with an older woman, Miss Cindy.
Still was doing the oochie coochie.
Well, was he? Because his friends, they wasn't believing the story. Like they was like, okay,
I wouldn't believe it.
Right.
It was like, did you? Did
in your head, in your dreams, you was doing the oochie coochie.
Come on now.
In your daydreams.
So Q is having relations with an older woman. She's getting divorced, possibly.
Yes.
Has her own apartment.
The nerve. She has the nerve.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna invite Q to your house while you kicking out your husband? You're gonna invite your, let's say,
we don't know what he did. We don't know what that guy did.
But my thing is this: Q is in high school.
It don't matter to me if I don't like you.
Q.
I'm not saying I would be dating a high school boy, but what I am saying is that I don't care what the ex-husband thinks of any guy that I'm bringing around, because, like, who's to say what the husband undid? Like, I am done. I don't care what. I mean,
that's absolutely true, but I just feel like, why, if you're interested in this new guy, why would you have him around? Like, that's such an uncomfortable position to put someone in. Like, come on, like, come on. Now, maybe
it just felt like playful, like she doesn't really like.
Maybe she didn't know he was coming over. That could be the case.
Could have been on. That was on purpose. Come over at 3 o'clock.
I just know you too damn grown. You're a nurse. So I'm assuming you've had some schooling. Nothing. I'm assuming you've had some schooling. So I'm assuming you are not 17.
No, right. But she could have been.
So why are you with this little 20s. Boy?
But I get that. But also, it could have been a situation where she's like, since I am a little bit older and I am playing around with this younger guy, at the end of the day,
you're raping this younger guy.
Let's just say that
we have to use the right language here.
Q could be 18.
Yeah, I'm saying we don't know the age. How old he is in the movie. He could be.
We
18.
don't know. If you're a
senior,
you're 18.
Well, Ernest Dickerson, let me know, because I'm some. Let me know.
Let's just say he's 18. Let's just say he's
17.
Well, let's not, I'm going to say everything's on level play.
Rape laws in New York in the 90s.
We don't know. We don't know.
So we could just 16.
I had a problem. It just felt like there was a lot of that I was catching on to in the movie, because I remember seeing Samuel L. Jackson
with the young girl.
When Q was coming from meeting with the doll Queen Latifah, after she had the curse flex out because his audition tape was trash. He's coming back and we see Samuel L. Jackson like hitting on a young little thing, and I'm like, that girl don't look grown to me. Sam, you look like a grown ass man. Mm-hmm. You look real grown. Why are you talking to this little girl? And it felt like stuff like that got pushed to the margins on purpose. I feel like, because like this is stuff that they are dealing with. Like, these are kids, and I understand even if he's 18, cut it out. Like, you a kid at 18. Like, there are some people who are taking care of themselves, who are very mature at the age of 18. I cannot say that for Quincy. You still need your mom to wake you up for school. You are a child. For that serious thing to only be a backdrop, like, they are dealing with some shit.
The thing that confused me about the situation, I get if you're an older woman and you just want something young in your bed because you over your husband, and it's not a relationship. This is just, you're married, you're getting divorced, you just trying to, it's probably stressful. You just need a stress reliever. Mm-hmm. I get Q as a stress reliever. But what was odd to me was that she knew the friends and that they had her number, because even when Steele called her house,
Yeah.
Looking for Q.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, so y'all, this ain't just a come through, you know, when my husband at home. This ain't no side piece. This is like,
Right.
we
I got the
friends.
fi- yeah, I got the feeling from it. I got the feeling from that. Like I see your point, Ashley. I didn't view it from like it was that way. I'm viewing it as like, Q is like older. He's 18. He's a you know, I took it from there, like she's liking him, but I took it like she's a girl from around the way that they kind of knew. They never said about it, but that's how I kind of viewed it because for her to know, I like still like what's going, like what, like I feel like what's the likelihood of them all laughing and giggling up in her house and she's just not leaving her husband. So I don't think it was like that kind of camaraderie. I kind of feel like you kind of knew her. It was some kind of connection. So maybe it's a girl from around the way, the older girl that they liked or something like that, and then somehow along the way they're connected. That's why it just
I
felt,
mean,
even though they were together.
the predators live in the neighborhood. When I saw Belly, and when DMX's character is having sex with that young girl, and
Ashley,
Oh.
you think
when
that's the
she's on the
same?
phone, she's on the
No.
phone with him, and
That's
she's like,
not the
I'm
same.
16, so he said we can't fuck yet, and
But
I was
I
like,
did
well,
suck
honey,
his
you
dick.
did fuck him, like you sucked his dick, like that don't feel inappropriate to you. There was a part of me that didn't feel like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I'm troubled seeing this, because she's felt like a willing participant, but at the same time, you're a kid, so I don't give a damn if you was chasing him. It doesn't matter. He's the adult. He should know to leave you alone. I think that the same maybe could be said for Quincy. It just felt very inappropriate to me. Like, even if he is 18, fine, he's 18. It felt very inappropriate for me to watch this woman who I am considering grown. I don't care how you know her. I really don't care how you know her. It just felt like gross to me.
No, I mean, I can only respect where you're coming from. I didn't get that vibe. I didn't get that. I didn't get that feeling. I didn't get that.
They
I
did
didn't
make the
analyze it
love.
in that
I
way.
think it's difficult to sometimes it's difficult to read Black men as victims of
No.
assault, of sexual assault.
I
I
didn't.
don't think I think it's difficult to read men, period, as victims of sexual assault.
Well, do
I
you
didn't
think
really go ahead. Yeah, I
maybe
didn't really get it, but
because I hear some conversations now with men saying that they, even if they were victims in a predatory situation, they didn't feel that way until now,
Mhm.
10, 15 years later, looking back, they're like, oh my gosh, maybe, I'm thinking I'm bagging this older chick.
Yeah.
Wait, was I a victim? Oh, because I thought I was doing something. So it could
Mhm.
be from a male's perspective. They're not seeing that when they're 17, 18, they're thinking they're doing something, getting with
Yeah.
the older chick. But later with 35, 40, they're like, I don't maybe,
Yeah.
it might be different.
And it's complicated too, because she does seem to provide a safe space for him. Like, he goes there and he kind of gets away from it all. You're not in your mom's house with her bugging you about filling out a job application for some, probably a job that you don't really want to do. You're not dealing with the friend dynamic and dealing with Bishop, who in a split second will start yelling and becoming very aggressive. You're not at school, which is a place you don't want to be. Like, you feel a little bit more grown up with her. You feel like I'm away from the trials of just every day. It seemed, but maybe it's because we don't necessarily follow the film doesn't privilege the other men the way that it privileges Q. But it feels like, is he the only one that has that? Because
A safe space.
like a safe space to kind of run to. It seems like he has that in his music. He also has that in Yolanda, even though I'm calling it predatory. For him, unfortunately, it is a safe space, you know, but
Well, do you feel that his house is unsafe?
I don't think, well,
I just
maybe
think he
safe
just
space isn't the right word, but I'm saying like you're in your mom's house. It's still your mom's house. It's
And Bishop
not
know where
like,
your mama live because he was outside the window yelling your name
child.
when
And
she
it's
didn't come
also
out.
you're living by your mom's rules. You
yeah,
know,
she's just
it's your
another
mama.
outlet. She's like
Yeah.
any other girlfriend or boyfriend. You go to their house, it's like, oh, I just gotta leave my house. Oh, I gotta leave my mama's house. She was just another thing. But I do get what you're saying.
Yolanda is complicated because she was very helpful and she cared about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
Yeah.
maybe if they never had sex, you would feel differently? Like if this was just a girl that he liked
That's a good point.
and that he would just confide in, but she was like, we can do everything except that.
I think that I would have a difficult time saying that their relationship is wrong. Sometimes when I see two people of the opposite sex that are not like related, I immediately assume that there's a romantic connection. So it still probably would have made me feel uncomfortable, but that would have been my personal issue. It wouldn't have, like, this just feels objectively wrong to me.
I wish we knew how old she was.
I think she's grown.
I mean, yeah, but let's say grown can be 22, 25. We don't know how old she was when she got married. You know, she got
But I
married
mean,
at
I
18.
think I don't think, well, I mean, I yeah, sure. I wish we knew that. I just doubt she's 19. I doubt she's a nurse at
No,
19.
I would say 20. I would say with 22, 20 to 25.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think she's 35.
Yeah. I don't either.
So the crew, the guys, have this plan to rob the bodega. Well, we did mention briefly that Q, he enters this DJ competition. He does the audition with Queen Latifah. She likes, you know, she's interested in him. And I guess the DJ battle is Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night is the night that this is Bishop's plan to rob the bodega. And he wants all his friends there. Which, I don't know why he needed all four of them.
Yeah, I know why.
Why?
He needs support. Bishop is really, really like, he want to be like this, but it's all fake. He has the insecurity. He has the, he lacks confidence.
He won't do it by himself.
He won't do it by himself. He's very sheepish. And that's why it scared him. I know we're going to get to it, but it scared him when all the stuff was going down, that he was kind of surprised in himself, but it kind of gave him strength. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he needed a whole bunch of backup because he was like, well, I don't really want to do this by myself.
He gets something out of calling Q scared and a punk and a bitch. Like, he gets something out of that. And I don't know if that's...
I think he could be projecting.
One, I don't want to be the only one who's scared.
Heck
and
no.
Two, I need to feel better than this person because I know I'm not that scared. I know because I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And I think he also, to your point, Ashley, I think he also is like, he feels that others see him. He feels like people see my weakness. So I got to guard up. So, but on the inside, he envies them in ways, or honestly, maybe not even envy, he wish he could be like them. And I think that's the same thing. I'm saying the same thing, but I don't think it's coming from a malicious place. He kind of wish he was that kind of, Q has this kind of independence and this vibe on his own lane, and he has a strong silent confidence, Raheem is this bold guy, Steele is kind of whatever Steele is, but still he's okay, you know. And I think he's but something about Bishop is something about Q was dang, like, oh, like you got all these things, you got this vibe, you got this kind of coolness about you.
You got
And
something going on. You have this woman in your
talent.
life, you have talent, you have something that's going to take you away from the group. So does Raheem. Raheem got, at some point, you're going to deal with being a dad at some point. So that's going to take you away from this. It's going to be me and Steele,
And that ain't going to go nowhere.
That ain't going to be no good. You know what
Nope.
Yeah.
So he projecting on him, and it's making him like, and I think he kind of hate that Q is like, oh, like I'm not even on what you on. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even like. I think Q, like, he gets mad, but you could just tell
he
Q
gets
is
mad
like,
when people don't give in to him,
right?
I wonder. I wonder why the film didn't show the conversation between the three men when they decide that they're going to rob the store, because
True.
What do y'all really need? Like, you get the sense that, well, can we just get to it? Like, can we get to the gusto?
I was surprised Raheem was for it.
Me
I
too.
get still, but I was like, Raheem, you too, Raheem?
Exactly. Like, it doesn't feel like money is the crux here. Like, it doesn't.
What's the motivation?
What's going on? Like, we don't see anyone really struggling financially here. And I'm sure that ain't nobody rich here. Like, ain't nobody rich.
It was okay.
It's not desperate.
It ain't.
They're
like,
not desperate.
We might be living a life of precarity, but we ain't down and out now. Everybody's going home. Everybody's eating. Everybody got the heat on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just felt like this is not about money. This is about something else.
Well, we know what Bishop's motivation is. He wants to be somebody. Because even when what's his name, who robbed the place and got shot and died,
the man, yeah,
he was just like, what did he say? Oh, Bishop was always talking about, you have to stand up for something, you got to be somebody, you got to die for this. He was giving all these, I don't want to call them motivational speeches, but what do you call it? He was very amped up about it. Like, you gotta be willing to die for this. You gotta be somebody. I want people to know me, like,
And I wish I had an opportunity to watch the film. They're watching a film called White Heat. Mm-hmm. And it, at the end of the film, when he's saying, made it my top of the world, but it seems like there's just this explosion going on around him. It seems like Bishop is attracted to the infamy. Like, he's just like, oh my gosh, look at the way he died. Look at the way Blizzard goes out. Like, that's what but again, Blizzard does this alone. The man in the film, it seems like he's doing this alone. You gotta be paired up with people. Why can't you do this alone?
Too scared. He just can't seem to do stuff on his own accord. And like you said, I think he is, like, when he jumped off the couch, and I know we're going back on it, but yeah, he was attracted to it. Like when you said about the movie, like when he was like, oh my God, wow. And it's like, what? But it's something deeper.
No, he shot Shorty in the back.
Yeah, like, okay. He wants that kind of, like, I think he wants to be seen. And I think maybe a part of it, again, going back to the beginning with the whole house, like, yeah, your grandma see you, but your grandma is slow moving. And your dad does not see you. And I think if that dad could see him and have some kind of engagement with him, I think Bishop would have been a whole nother person. But he just feels like maybe he is getting seen from his family members or his grandmother. Like you said, it's very doting. Who's to say? But like the fact that his father doesn't see him is very impactful to him.
And where is your mother?
I don't know. Hey, wait, you got your real daddy. But yeah, where your mama at? I don't know. She could have left him. It could be a jail situation. It could be anything.
Because this is your maternal grandmother. I get the sense that that's her son. Because you go check on your dad, that's probably her son.
Right. And who maybe his mom even let him go. That's another thing too. He may be feeling unseen by both parents. Maybe the mama don't want him. To your point, Ashley's just the paternal grandmama, and then your daddy just sitting up in the same house, and y'all have nothing. It's something deeper.
Definitely. So the guys, they convinced Q to sneak out of his DJ competition to rob this store.
Yeah.
They do it. They have a gun. And they do it. Bishop messes up, pulls the trigger, and
intentionally messes up. That was intentional. Yeah. Sad and very weird.
Allegedly, he says, you know,
he was moving.
But then they're like, no, he wasn't. We was looking at him.
Right. And he also says, which is true.
What?
Steele says your name. Steele said your name. Because Steele is looking at some like batteries or something. He's like, Raheem, you know, he don't get the whole name out, but it's like he gets a little bit of the name out. He would have known who robbed them, you know, but it doesn't even matter. You wanted to kill that man.
Right. You wanted to do it. And I think he also felt the heat that dang Raheem said, no, man, we was looking right at you. It was like, ugh. You know,
now
like
I'm a liar. Now I'm a
liar. Now I'm a liar. Now you saying like it was different if Steele said it, you know, you could probably like, you know what, man, shut up. But when Raheem said, no, man, he wasn't, I was looking right at him. It was like, whew, I am being seen. Mm-hmm. You know, out of all the people, you caught me. How I'm gonna stand up? You may push me out the group. You so strong of a leader. I may not be your friend no more. You gotta go. You gotta go.
When they cornered him, he was like, he made a move. He made a move. It's like
liar. That was a very and you killed two people in a matter of minutes.
Well, let's get to that. So they run out the store. They're like, oh my God, Bishop, you just not the plan. So
right.
They come out the store. Q's still trying to get back to his DJ thing. So they run in.
Alibi.
Trying to get back to the DJ thing. And Bishop don't like to be confronted. He don't like to be told what to do. And did Raheem call him crazy? Because I know that's Bishop's trigger word. I can't remember.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember either. But anyway, you know, Raheem's going at him. And then Bishop kills Raheem.
Dan goes to tell me if I'm too jumpy, but they trying to figure all this out. Excuse me, I know Nicole, I know you're leading it off because I feel like I made
go ahead.
I was really going to say, I mean, of course now the police is involved. They do this whole question and interrogation and
they go back to the DJ thing.
And then Bishop shows up and was like, hey man, they said they killed Raheem.
It's like Raheem's dead. And they don't know what happened. Well, like, damn, it's like you ain't got
no nothing.
One thing I really liked about that is once Raheem is murdered and you know we see images because everything is being filtered through Q's perspective and we see images we see a clip of Raheem telling Q good luck at the DJ contest. And then in the background, you hear round 2 because it is literally round 2 of the competition, but it's like, this is round two of my life because like everything after this moment, literally nothing will be the same. Like I have made it to the point in my life where nothing will be the same. I robbed a man. I was a part of a murder. I was a part of 2 murders. Like this is nothing will be the same here.
Heck no. No, nothing's
so now
gonna be the same.
They're being questioned by police, interrogated. Still is crying. Like we know he was
he didn't know what to do. He was
the only one allowing himself to be human because I know I would have been balling too.
Yep. I think Q was, of course, like trying to save face, but he just played the stoic role because he was still processing it.
Right.
And Bishop was like, honestly, sure, there was like, I'm sure deep down it was fear, but a part of him felt powerful in the moment that he did this, and he was like, they don't know.
No,
Yeah.
I might have
Bishop.
laughed.
I was trying to find some psychological analysis
On what
about
he was
Bishop,
doing,
because this man was like, he
getting a
just
kick out of it.
went to a different person, like personality. Oh
He
yes,
did.
I ran into an old girlfriend, went downstairs, went to the
Making
basement.
stories
da, da, da.
up.
It's like he was just on it, and I'm like,
It
damn.
felt like
He didn't care.
bipolar, but also like sociopath. Like
Definitely a sociopath.
But it wasn't. It's like, it's weird. And I'm not no mental health scholar, but it felt like he felt no remorse for killing his friend. None. When the cops came to the competition and he was like, yo, Raheem's dead, somebody shot him. If I was a cop, I'm like, that's the way you tell your friend that? That's the way it sounded like you don't care.
What really got me the most with Juice, the scene that really stands out to me is Bishop at the funeral.
Oh,
the nerve.
The lies.
That was one scene. We'll get to the other scene. That was the first scene that had me, that it makes you jump. It's like, Bishop walks in, like, and they're idiot. At the it's not the funeral. What do you call it?
Like the repast.
Yeah, the repast, when they're at Raheem's family's house.
Mm-hmm.
And Q and Steele are there. And, Raheem's mother's crying, sister crying, baby mama with her son just bawling. And Bishop walks in. And you can see Q is just looking like,
what the fuck you doing here?
He backs away. He actually slowly walks away. Yeah.
Bishop hugs Raheem's mom.
And talking to the sister.
Yeah.
And when he was like, she was like, she said, how you doing? He was like, I should be asking you that. And I was like, Bishop, stop.
I mean, there's also a sense like, I don't really feel things. I don't really feel things the way everybody else does. So
I was gonna say that he what do you call it when you disassociate?
Yeah.
I think it's more of that.
Cognitive dissonance. Is that the name of it? I could be wrong.
I think disassociate is like the perfect thing, like, because that is and also I get the sense that he likes terrorizing Q in a way. Like I feel like he get a little kick out of scaring Q the way that he does.
Yeah. And his power is up after these killings. Like, it really gave him strength. Like, if he did something, he made an impact. Like, he can say that. And this was like in the night, he stole the money, he won, he's the winner. So he does, like, now if he was bold before, now he's bold times 1,000 now.
And Raheem was the only one that was restraining the full-blown bishop of bishopness.
Good point, Ashley.
Because wait, what was his excuse? Because after they killed the guy in the bodega, Raheem was like, you need to give me the gun.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to have this gun. First of all, we're at a murder. The police are going to look for a gun. Just give me the gun because you're not responsible with this. And Bishop is like, no. So Raheem tries to get the gun from Bishop, and that's when Bishop shoots him.
Yeah.
But then his rationale is that, Raheem tried to get it from me. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to go grab a gun from somebody. This is what happens when you grab a gun from somebody. You get shot. And then, I think it was like Q. I can't remember if it was Q or Steele. They were like, but that's Raheem, though.
Right.
But in Bishop's mind, he was like, but still, it's like
it don't matter.
he's trying to make it make sense, but it's there's no empathy, compassion.
He's trying to rationalize his instability and his desire for chaos. Like he's trying to make that make sense. It feels like after the repass, however, he doesn't even care about rationalizing anything. When they're in school, because see how fast people get on the straight and narrow when shit go down. Q's like, let me take my ass to school. Let me go see what's up with his locker.
Well, Q was avoiding Bishop because that's when Q was at home and Bishop was calling from outside, and Q's little brother was about to say what's up, and Q was like, we're not doing that. And he was like, if Bishop calls or comes over here, tell him I'm not home.
I'm gonna give you this boom box. You better do it right.
What you want? Like, how much money you want?
Take this boom box.
I'm not home.
Okay, you better do right.
And so Q goes to school because they don't go to school. So I guess Q's thinking, well, they ain't gonna see him there. Last place he's gonna show up. But Bishop shows up at the lock, and this was the scene. It's like, it's still, even though I know Bishop is behind the locker. I know he is. And I still jump when he closes that locker and Bishop is there.
It's so many memes that have that.
I know. They have it in cartoon form. You seen the cartoon form?
Oh no, I don't.
They put it, you know how people can make yourself into what is it, the Pixar cartoon? You know how Pixar have that their signature cartoon face. They have Bishop and Q in Pixar cartoon at the locker scene. I saw that.
It's like the locker scene and the elevator scene.
Oh yes,
are just top notch. It's like on par with, you told Harpo to beat me. Like, you just know that image.
You do. You definitely do know that.
What kills me is, and this is why I say it was never about money, but Bishop got on all the jewelry. It's like, that's where money went. After he kills Raheem and they run off.
Well, he takes the money.
He comes back and he takes the money.
And Raheem does a last little thing before he, fades. Mm-hmm.
So also around this time, Q knows that he's a man on his own. Like, he don't trust Bishop. So he goes and gets a legal gun, I guess, from
a family friend.
Oh,
because she knew the mama.
Well, he don't know her because he was like, "Oh, I'm here to see Sweets."
Right.
And she's like, "Do I know you?" And he was just like, you can say, he's like, I want some protection. and she's the one that's like, "Oh, you so-and-so's son, ain't you?" And
I know you.
Like, yeah. He was like, "Tell your mom I said hi." He was like, okay, I guess.
I'm really gonna tell her that I saw you here.
That's the only reason he got the gun, because all he had was $25, and she was like, "Honey, I can't even give you
a slingshot.
You ain't gonna be able to get nobody no paper cut with $25.
Right.
Give you a ream of paper for $25. $25, I'm not about to give you a lighter. But
honey, I'm not doing it.
She does offer him protection, which he throws away. Bishop, it seems like Q still cares for Bishop in a way. It's moved past fear, and it's become, I have to save my friend from this destruction that he is creating for himself. Because Q is right. Like, after you kill me, what else you gonna do, Bishop? Who else you done killed? Radames.
We didn't get to that. So he runs into Radames in the street. Radames is the guy from the Puerto Rican gang from in the beginning of the movie that's taunt him,
roughing up on him,
said his father like being a prison yard hoe, all this other stuff.
That's not funny.
So he catches Rodimus by himself. He's not with
Mhm.
his crew, and Bishop kills him.
Yeah.
There's a sense that, I understand, I don't like it, but the slang of Rodimus and the bodega owner, like, Rodimus, you were always going to taunt me. You were never going to make me feel safe in my home. Getting rid of you makes sense. Getting rid of the person who owns the bodega kind of makes sense, because but there's just going to be another bodega owner that comes in and inflicts their own type of terrorism. For that man to come out with a gun, threatening to shoot those potential, like, those people, like, you're in their neighborhood, you, like, really, you had to bring out a gun because you saw us fighting.
I
Like,
get what
there's
you're
no-
saying, but I think if you go back to the 90s and the atmosphere of the 90s with
Mhm.
crime. Remember, New York City used to be the crime capital of the country,
Mhm.
especially in the 90s. And so I'm sure there's plenty of bodega owners that had their gun. That's why people
And it's probably, I said, like, you're in their neighborhood, as if that's not also his neighborhood. He probably, grew up there too. So
Right.
I take that back. But
I was gonna say that's how you get those places that have the bulletproof glass at the
Yeah.
Chinese restaurant or the check cashing. It's bulletproof glass because they're really in this environment where if I don't shoot first, I'm gonna die. And then even the boys said, even though he has a gun, he's not gonna shoot. Like
he's
they
not gonna
knew,
shoot, yeah.
like they knew that it was just a scare tactic. They knew that man was not gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's also, he was also, when we see him come out with the gun, he says, "I shoot your pee off."
Yeah.
It felt very light to me. And it's just, you ain't about to do none of them kids.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So Bishop now he killed the bodega. What's his name's Quinnis? Is that his name, right?
I don't really remember that boy name.
The Quillis or something. Yeah. I
Quillis.
think.
So Bishop has killed Quillis. He killed Raheem, and now he killed Rodimus.
Yep.
So that's 3 people dead.
3. Yep.
He's trying to kill Q, and you can tell he's putting things in the community. Like when he talks to Sam Jackson, his character,
Right.
he's like, "Oh, you seen Q around?" He was like, "Well, I don't know what's up. Q been acting weird lately. I think you need to watch out for him. If something happened, it's Q he's probably going to do something crazy or something. Keep your eye out on Q." So he's putting these little
nuggets out there.
Well, yeah, kind of to get people talking.
And Samuel L. Jackson can see right through him because there's life there. This is an older person. And I also think, he may have, just that intuition about himself. Like, yeah, even though I've been seeing you since you were a kid and they never really, I don't know about you. But you talk about Q was crazy? Yeah.
No, but then he did say, because then when Q saw him,
yeah, you're right.
Q goes to Sam Jackson, was like, "Man, you know me since I was a kid." And he's like, "I know a lot of killers since they was kids."
Right. That's true.
Y'all
That was
grow
funny.
up.
That was funny. I think he is right in what he said, and he meant it, but then he also probably since I do know that, I know that you ain't one of them. But Bishop, yeah, he could possibly be one of them. That's kind of how I took it. His thought process at some point, that's where he arrives to.
Right. How they get in the elevator?
That scene, that was all on that, because that's where we are now. Like, it turns into racing from apartment, telling this story, still getting shot. It just seems like it's boom, boom. It's like ping pong. Like, it's a lot moving. It's a lot going on.
Well, why do you think he wants to kill Steele and Bishop. Do you think it's to clear his name?
Yeah.
Because it just
I
feels
think it was
like a
that.
little more than that to me. Like it's not
What are you thinking?
because the police are looking for the killers of the bodega owner and Raheem.
Right.
You know, and so I think, yes, on the surface level, he's trying to clear his name. But why kill Radames? And
Well,
why
Radames was that's retaliation.
His street villain, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But we gonna see that everybody know that Radames be threatening you every day. So all of a sudden, all three of your friends die, and the guy who bullies you is dead, but you want us to believe that you the victim here. It
You
would
know
be
what?
It just
Go ahead.
felt like he was just on some, I'm ready for everybody to go. Like, I want to end this because if I feel like there's no way out of this horror that I am in, so everybody got to go.
Bishop and Q end up in this crowded elevator together. Bishop staring at Q, Q staring at Bishop, and then Q says, "What you gonna do? Shoot me in the elevator?"
And everyone's like,
and, "Oh my god!" Well, Bishop pulls out the gun, and so everyone is like, "What?" And so then they get Bishop out the elevator. Wait, did we talk about how he shot Steele?
He shot Steele. At some point, a little bit after the whole getting the gun life and everything going on, yes, at some point, Steele gets shot by Bishop, and Bishop thinks like, "Hey, I got all of them down. Only person that's left is Q," and of course, Steele is not dead. And then it gets
Steele
into this.
is in the hospital. Oh well, yeah, okay. So we skipped that point. So, Q sees Steele going to the ambulance,
Right.
Q was trying to meet up with Steele.
Right.
He's calling his house. His mom was like, "I don't know. He should have been home by now. If we see him, tell him to get his butt home." And so Q's like, "Okay." So he's walking through the neighborhood and he sees Steele going to the ambulance. And then he sees everyone is looking at him as if he's responsible for Steele being shot.
Like, that nigga got the word out quick.
And that's when he goes on this run and he ends up in the elevator. And then Bishop finds him in the elevator.
They bum rush this party. I mean, it was a whole bunch of crap. So yeah, they get to the elevator and now things are getting like really intense after all this back and forth, running, you know?
And then real quick, we cut to Yolanda in the hospital because she's at work. She's at work.
She's a nurse.
She got a job.
Ashley, the predator is at work.
But then, like I said, this kind of confused me about Yolanda because she knows Steele, and so she's like, "Yo, Steele, what's up?" And that's when he tells her, he's like, "Man, it's Bishop. Bishop shot me," and he's trying to say Q did it. And so it's like, I get that she's an older woman messing with a young man, but it's strange because they all know her. They all, like, she cares for them.
Yeah.
It's like they're all kind of homies, cool. In a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she knows the crew.
She knows the crew. She knows them. That's why I always thought that there is like, she's some kind of girl from around the way. But to Ash's point, yeah, I know they know each other in some capacity, you know. But yeah, there's something about it where she's like, hold on, like it's like a lovingness there, like something genuine, you know.
She's the mom figure.
I get the feeling that she is this girl that was around the way. She was like a few years older than them. And now the ages have caught up. You know, if you're 35 and you date a 32-year-old, that looks okay as opposed to 14 and 17. You know, clearly. I'm not. You know what I'm saying, y'all. But you know, and I think that's why, like, hold on, I know all of y'all. It just kind of happened that I kind of like, you know, Bishop. Oh, excuse me. Q, my gosh. Q done grown up. Q's a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, like he's so great. I can't date Raheem because Raheem has a baby. I don't want to date Steele because Steele is
She can't
Steele.
date because she's married, but
And she's
you
married.
know,
And she can't date Bishop because Bishop has concerns.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Q is running, Bishop is chasing him. They end up on this rooftop.
Yeah.
But before that, so even though Q got the gun, he after a while he just threw it in the river because he's just like, you know, he seems very, very level-headed in a way when he's like, I'm not gonna use this, I'm not shooting anybody.
Right.
Like, I'm not
And
gonna
he
do that.
says, like, plainly to Bishop, Bishop, I'm not you. I'm not
Yeah.
going to turn into you. That's
Yeah.
the reason I don't need this gun. I think this gun is like just gasoline for you, and you thrive off of this. You know, without this gun, who are you? It just
Who are you?
it feels very like, I don't know, like he, without that gun, he's naked.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
It's his
anything in
armor.
his, yeah, he doesn't have
Yep.
anything in his arsenal to
Yep.
protect him. So he needs that literal tool to that will serve as his defense, or what he's defining as his defense.
Because
Yep.
if he had a gun, he would have never been picked on. People
Mhm.
Never.
can't talk about his dad.
Never.
People can't question his mental instability. If he got a gun, nobody would
Questioning
be up in
him.
his face.
Yeah. But there's some identity building that is apparent with Q, that Bishop it seems like he doesn't know that he has access to that, you know, and we see that with Q is like, I have other things going on. I don't need like, this friend group is wonderful. I don't necessarily need it. And I have,
No.
you know, I literally have other things going on with my life. Bishop can't say the same.
Not in the least. He doesn't have anything going on. Like you can still kind of had like a something like a, you know, I don't know. He was kitty. He was, you know, I get around with girls. I cook. I'm funny. And Q is like this DJ, and Raheem is this dad, but he has like a coolness about him. You know, he's a leader.
He's mature. Yeah,
regardless.
he's a natural leader. Raheem's a natural leader.
Right. And then you have Bishop. Like Bishop knew. Like I don't. What? Like
What
what?
purpose do I serve here?
What purpose do I serve? Nobody even checking for me. No people checking for me. I like kind of like my friends. That's why I need them. And on top of that, it's like, you know, I don't have nothing going on. And now people really would check for me if I had like this power that I feel like I have now. You know,
Did
he's
y'all
getting
like
some
the
interest.
did y'all like the ending?
Okay, so wrapping it up.
Yeah, I did.
So
Oh.
Q and Bishop on his rooftop. Bishop has a gun. Q doesn't. He got rid of his gun. And so I think what he tries to shoot, Bishop tries to shoot Q,
Misses.
but
a lot of times.
misses. Yeah. He kind of like, the gun kind of slips from him, and then they kind of like wrestle for it. Something. They're fighting, tugging. It's like this big fight scene.
Yeah.
Bishop ends up, how he end up hanging from the roof? He fall? Did he fall?
Bishop ends up falling because he's like, oh
No, but how did he get to the point where he's falling?
I know they're tussling
I think they're
on
tussling
the
and
roof.
like he pushing like against the, you know, against
The
the
edge, and then he kind of
yeah.
like slipped. Okay, so anyway,
horseplay. Well, not
Bishop
horseplay.
is in a position where he can fall. Q is holding him, and then he says to him, "Man, don't let me fall." And Q is like, "Man, I got you. Just hold on. I'm trying to hold on." And then Q is like, "I'm trying," and then the hand slips,
Yeah.
and Bishop falls to his death. And that's when everyone in the neighborhood sees what happens. And
I thought they was gonna start clapping for him. I'm like, y'all just sat here and watched me. Y'all couldn't help a nigga.
I think that was just
wait, we got
Sorry.
the line. That's when they say, "Oh, you got the juice now." So this whole time, Bishop was trying to get some juice, some street cred, and so now, you know, apparently Q has the juice now. But
You
I
got the
want to
juice
I
now.
want to say in the Guardian article there was a different ending. Can you guys guess?
That they both get killed.
Nope.
They make it.
No.
Huh.
Still,
No, not still. This is still Bishop and Q at the end.
they get arrested.
No. So Bishop falls, but he falls on his own. So according to this Guardian
Oh
article,
wow.
Dickerson, which is the director and co-writer, he admits
Mhm.
to one frustration with the film, namely the climactic showdown in which protagonist Q loses his grip of Bishop, who was dangling from a rooftop. The director's original chilling and sad ending had Bishop deliberately letting go of Q's hand to avoid jail. But the focus group rebelled against the bad guy deciding his own fate, says Dickerson. And this is in quotes. Paramount made me recut it so that Bishop just slides out of Q's hand, screaming as he falls. In my original ending, Bishop silently falls into the black abyss.
Wow. Now I think that would have been way more impactful.
I know. I like the director's ending.
Me
I'm like,
too.
who is
I
this
like it
focus
too.
group?
White people,
Exactly. Who is this focus group?
White men.
white
Because
businessmen.
when I read this, it wouldn't make sense because this whole time Bishop wanted to be in control. He always said
Yep.
throughout the whole movie, you have to be in control of your own destiny. You have to be willing to die. You have to be, Bishop wasn't afraid of dying. He said it plenty of times. You have to be willing to, even when what's his name got killed for sticking up the place.
Yeah. At least I
He
went
was
out like
like-
that. Yeah, like
He was
that.
like, you got to be willing to die for this stuff. Like
Mhm.
Bishop was ready to die. And so at the end, how they played it of, him not wanting to go, it kind of goes against what he stood for.
Right.
I'll
Dang,
say
that would been a
this.
good one.
It would have made the movie Bishop's movie.
Mhm.
With Q holding on to Bishop, it felt like the crux of the movie was Q, but also the fraternity that Q wanted to establish because he loved Bishop.
Well, yeah.
And it felt like that's what made Bishop's death all the more chilling. Is that even though you did all this stuff to me, I was still trying to save you.
You mean
Yeah.
Q?
Q was still trying to save Bishop.
Well,
even though-
yes. So this is the same thing. Q was still trying to save him, but they're saying they wanted Bishop to just let go.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
They wanted Bishop to be like, I'm good. I'm letting go. Instead of just having just Q just losing his grip all of a sudden. Like he's just not strong anymore.
Is probably, to me, I got it from the fact that, yeah, I mean, it's hard to hold them up. You bent across brick, but then on top of that, you've been running and running and running and running, and like it's
Well, yeah, I get
bent.
it.
But no, I
He's
see what you're
tired.
saying. Yeah,
But I
I
don't.
get what you're
Yeah, I would
saying.
have loved to see
Me too. I had
what
no
they
idea
say.
about that.
the bad guy choosing his own fate.
Mm-hmm.
Who are these people in the 90s? No,
People
the bad
who
guy
did-
can't
who-
choose
people
his
who
own
didn't
fate.
want Black bodies to have control of themselves. It's like,
Exactly.
this you
True.
know, like, no, we're
True.
gonna make you suffer.
True.
Exactly.
That's an excellent point, for real, Ash. Yeah.
So Ashley, this is your first time seeing the movie. How do you like it?
What do
I
you think?
absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite movies. It's a movie I don't need to see again because I was
Okay.
stressed out.
Oh,
It's
I've
not
seen it-
like, to me, Love Jones is like, oh, I can watch Love Jones. I can watch it. Okay. Love Jones coming on. I'll watch it. It's not like Juice. I was emotionally spent.
I thought you was joking when you were saying that on Instagram.
No, I was literally stressed out. I could not deal.
I was like, Ashley, why are you doing
absolutely loved it. It's like top 10 for me.
What?
Top
really?
10. Easily.
I didn't know you was gonna say that now. No, it's a really one of my favorite movies, and it shows so many different layers to everybody. And it's like, of course, it's like so many actors and pieces to this movie, but it's just such a strong. I think it's part of my favorite. I mean, not like he did a whole bevy of movies, but it's definitely a movie that I feel like Tupac was like ridiculously great in, and it just showed like natural chops. You know, Poetic Justice, you had a love story and it had a sweetness to it. Like, Poetic Justice is one of my favorite movies in the world, but definitely I loved the him in this.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another film and more opinions. Leave a review and tell us what you'd like for us to watch. And let's keep the conversation going on Instagram. You can find us at Curry Gumbo. Be well. Happy watching. Love y'all. Bye.